Morning. Another standard drive to work. Roads are quieter though, because there's a half term at the moment, which makes life massively easier. Well, for some parents it does. Certainly does for driving in rush hour anyway. Oh, stalemate at the roundabout. I'll take it. Thank you. It's like roundabouts are a good idea, but they do fall down, don't they, quite a lot when everyone arrives at the same time. Everyone's just looking at each other going, are we going? Who wants to go? And then you all go at once, don't you? And then you all stop and go, oh no, go on, you first. Oh no, you first. It's quite amusing. Are they going right? Nope. Thanks for indicating, buddy. Good to know. I've had a really weird cough that's been going around at the moment. It's not really a cold as such. It's just like a cough, but it just seems to hang about. I'm not the only one that's got it. A lot of people have picked it up. Must be a UK thing. Just can't tell you what it is. Like, it's just weird. It's probably bloody another COVID strain that no one's actually bothered naming anymore, because everyone doesn't really give a shit about COVID anymore. That was a weird one. I don't know. I still don't know about that COVID thing. Thank you. Oh, what's going on down here? This is a bit random. So even though the traffic is supposed to be better because it's half term, I've just hit a random freaking queue. Does my nut in. Maybe I'll nip in here. Is this guy's going to let me? Yes. Dank up. Thank you, sir. And we're at a standstill. Fabulous. What do people call those things that I've seen different names for them? You know, where people, like, where there's a path, but then people cut across the grass because it makes it slightly shorter. What do people name them? I've heard wish path was one of them, which I thought was quite good. That's quite a nice one. And obviously you just call it shortcut. But I like wish path. I think it should be embraced. I wonder what would happen if the council just came along and just put tarmac down where these wish paths are. I wonder if people would then use the grass again just to avoid using the path, or they'd try and find a shorter way. It's just human nature, isn't it? It's that kind of mischievous nature that we all have. Interesting. I sometimes look at other people's cars and I wonder how they get it. I know cars get dirty. I get that, right? They get mud and they get, you know, salt and stuff on them. But then you get cars that are just covered in like moss, and it's clear where they've left under a tree and they've never rinsed it. And it just looks like it's horrific. It's just like makes the car look about 20 years older than it actually is. route do I choose? Strange. I'm not sure which way to go. Oh, someone's got the horn. There's lots of horniness going on. Everyone's horning each other. Why? Everyone's a little excited. This roundabout is bizzo. Oh, no, someone's blocked my way across. Outstanding. Oh, HGV coming round. Is he going to let me go? He is. Top man. Love that. Cheers, Boudoir. Right, we're going down this way. We're taking a chance. I always feel twisted. As if I've been to a chiropractor. I really want to go to a chiropractor and like get like cracked about. But I've seen some women do it on Instagram, and she like cracks people like and stuff like that. But ultimately, their back looks so bruised. I'm thinking, like, is like a chiropractic session going to hurt afterwards, or do you feel like $1 million? Like, I'd love to know, because I just feel like I need straightening out, you know, because I always feel a bit clenched. It's like I need someone to go, you know, straighten me out a bit, you know. But we're looking good. Although there was a slight bit of discomfort at the start of the journey, that's because of the road closure. Now I see. Selector, joy to go. Guy does not know where he's going. He is not a joy to go. Right. Yeah, so let me know what chiropractors are like. If anyone's had it done, is it like, does it make you feel great, or does it really not? I'm intrigued. I don't have it done if it's going to cause me all sorts of troubles. Or if it's one of those things that once you start it, you can't stop and you have to keep going. Otherwise you'll like get into difficulty a bit further on down the line. I absolutely love cruise control. I don't feel I could own a car now without cruise control. I think it's great, especially on one of them really boring roads where it's just like a straight run. It also makes sure you manage your speed as well, you know. someone's just had a number plate that says 700PY on the end of it, but it doesn't look like, it just looks like poopy from a distance. It's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? I'm reading a really interesting book at the moment called Thinking Fast and Slow. It's really worth a read if you want to see how the human mind works. It's right head stack. It says that the human mind has two systems, and like your first system is the one that, like, if someone's shouting, you immediately know they're angry. But then system 2 is the one you use when you're put under strain. So you know when someone says, what's 725 times 365? Like your system 1 can't answer that, so system 2 takes over and goes and then does the maths. I mean, I can't do it. Who knows what it is? I probably could if I sat down and had a bit of time, but yeah, it's a really good book. There's a really good riddle in it, which I actually shared on TikTok, which seemed to work. And it was like, the question was, how many animals did Moses take into the ark? And immediately, like, whether you believe it or not, your mind just goes 2. And you're like, but then when you think about it, Moses didn't take any animals into the ark, it was Noah. But the reason it works is because the mind will make a connection between like a religious figure and an event. So it won't question it, because like Noah was allegedly religious, so was Moses and whatever. So because they're both kind of in that sector, if you can call it that, your mind doesn't even question it. It just goes, yeah, too. But actually, when you actually think about it, you're like, no, it wasn't Moses Day, was it? It was Noah. It's cool. It's actually called the Moses illusion. So anyway, I never knew that. It's a really good sort of thing to read, because you're like, oh, got done over. But that just shows you how your mind can play tricks on you. It's really interesting to see how it works. I've got a thought, right? If you've got an electric car, I haven't got one. I'm not adverse to them, do you know what I mean? But if their battery flattens while you're driving them, can you put the hazards on? Or not? Like, does the battery flatten completely, so you literally can't use anything? So you can't put the hazards on when you've broken down? Or does it leave a little bit of reserve in order to allow the hazards to function? Just curious. I've often wondered that if it went completely flat, could you put the hazards on if you had to pull over when it broke down? It stands still again. I'm loving the fact that a lot of these haulage companies now are going with some wild colours on their trucks. I'm seeing a lot of purples and yellows and stuff like that. I saw a company yesterday called Love Grab. And they were like one of those trucks that has the... I thought calling yourself Love Grab's quite cool. Another question, what is Van Tool? Is that a coach maker? I've always just wanted to call someone it. I think they make trailers for HGVs, but why don't people go, oh, you absolute Van Tool? I think everyone's just, you Van Tool. It just seems like it's got that ring to it. Just saw an RS6. I love those cars. I think they look great. I'd love one. Even though they're quite obnoxious, aren't they? I'd still love one. I love the noise the RS cars make. Oh. I always like the RS4, the one that Jeremy Clarkson tested years and years ago. I think it's like the V8 one. It was like one of those kind of first early RSs, and the RS4 Audi. That was kind of goals at the time, you know. I just love one, but I think they do like 8 miles to the gallon. I don't think they're particularly fuel efficient. Where I did see a nice car was in England. If you want, you can go on the Ministry of Defence auction site and buy some like leftover surplus military vehicles. And I went on there once, and obviously I couldn't afford it. I would have loved to, but you can buy like Harley Davidson motorcycles and stuff, like the army ones. You can also buy like people carriers, it's like APCs, you know. But they had on there, I went on there once, and they had like an RS6 Avant, like a state car. I thought, I mean, it done like 80,000 miles or something. But I wonder like who used that in the army. Like, was it like special forces or not? Like, because you know, you read books, like, you know, you read all these books like by Chris Ryan and stuff, and there is like a general kind of sway that they do have pool cars which are quick, you know, because they've got to be. I also read a book on a really good book written by an ex, I think, MI5 agent. I can't remember his name now, but he wrote a non-fiction book and then he started writing fiction. They're good, but he always he does like sequences where he explains how MI5 or spy organisations kind of round suspects up in cars, and how they do it, as in they'll kind of radio each other ahead and they'll say, look, can you pick it up now so it doesn't look suspect, and so on and so forth. But they all had like really nice cars. They all like drove things like Golf R's, and they had like really quick motorbikes and stuff like that. And it's just cool. Like, I just wonder, so when you go on that sort of auction site, I wonder if a lot of those cars have been used for, you know, like special forces or stuff like that, or is it just like an officer who goes, I want a really fast car, nice one. Just curious. But yeah, I'd like one. I don't know what a bad rep, haven't they, sometimes, RS6s and RS4s and stuff, but I think they're cool. You know, if you can afford the petrol, of course, and they sound great, they probably go great. It's like the AMG Mercedes. I've liked them as well, like, you know, the AMG 55 and stuff like that. I think they're great. Like, nothing sounds quite like them, do they? You know, you hear them on the road, they sound like a bloody propeller plane, don't they? That sounds great. It's just like, there's nothing like it. I've got one in front of me at the moment, which is a C43 AMG. They just look cool. They're kind of like a bit of a sleeper car as well, aren't they? Like, you know, they sound great, but they don't look, I mean, they look mean, but they don't look like a sports car, but they can beat most things on the road. I love sleeper cars. I wonder what I would like if I had a choice of sleeper car and you could choose any car that you wanted to make like a little bit sneaky and a little bit quick. I've always wondered like if you could do up a Bedford Rascal van, because they're like these little things, aren't they? And I bet people are like, oh yeah, Bedford Rascal, 1 litre or 500cc or whatever. Can you turn that into a sleeper car? I mean, I don't know what engine would fit in that. Probably nothing particularly major, but they're so small anyway. Surely if you put in like a 1.8 injection with a little bit of tuning, that would pretty much get down the road rapid. But yeah, sleeper cars would be the way. I see that guy, Johnny Smith, who used to do Fifth Gear. He does his own thing on YouTube now. He's really good. But he's got an Austin Allegro that he's turning into a sleeper car, and he's put like a Type R engine in it, and that's going to be epic. That's got all like the upgraded brakes and stuff, but it is literally an Austin Allegro, like you could tell from the outside. Very cool. Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's the Late Break Show. The Late Break Show with Johnny Smith. Just saw a car driving through like a pile of leaves and it reminds me of that Nissan Almera advert from years ago. And there used to be a Nissan Almera advert and it had Phil Cornwall in it, and they were supposed to be like the Sweeney, and they were driving this in Almira down a back road. He went, drive through leaves, makes the car look exotic, or something like that. But it was quite good. It was like an impression of the Sweeney. They don't make adverts like that anymore. Like, I remember when the days of car adverts, when they used to have actors in them. Like, there was always this Vauxhall one where some dude called JD in it, and it was actually like a well-known actor. But that was like a Vauxhall advert, and they used to I used to like it when they used to put actors in. Now you just see the car, don't you, driving through a desert. It's not that exciting. But adverts aren't the same anymore. Like, they banned a lot of them. It's like they banned the Tango adverts. When there was this Tango advert, and it was like this little orange man, and he went, oh, Jordy, what's going on here? And then you see this little orange man run up the street, and then what they used to do is, and I can see why they banned it, because it was dangerous, but this little orange dude used to run up behind people, and it was like, and he used to walk up behind people and then do that behind their ears, and they went, you've been tangoed. But then the stupid thing was, kids started doing it at school to each other, probably perforated each other's eardrums, so they stopped. There's a lot of weird ones, like Tango, which is out there. Tango just had the best adverts. They were great. It's like Carling used to have some good ones, and before they banned it, they used to, when you could advertise tobacco products on TV, there used to be a cigar called Hamlet. Obviously, this is before everyone realised, well, how bad smoking was for you. But they were like, Russ Abbott used to be this comic in the 80s, and he used to do the adverts for Hamlet. And I can't remember what the tagline was. It was something like, it was like, calmness is Hamlet, or something like that. But one of the adverts was, he was playing golf, and he hit a putt, and the ball got stuck on the edge of the hole. So he just takes a step back, and he lights a cigar, and that's it. Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet. So he lights a cigar up, and he sits there, and then as he's having a little puff on the cigar, a train goes past, and it goes, and the vibration then knocks the ground, and the ball just goes plop, straight in, and then it comes up saying, happiness is a cigar called Hamlet. Things like that, great. Yeah, they just don't make things like that anymore. You know, and it was like Hofmeister beer, follow the bear. There used to be some bear dressed up in a bomber jacket and a pork pie hat, and he used to be like, follow the bear, and he's like, hey, and then the bear used to walk along. It was cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was a wealth of comedy adverts, you know, it was so funny. But now the adverts are a bit timid, aren't they? They're just a bit tepid. I can't remember the last really funny advert I saw. Just can't. It's sad, isn't it? I just think they were great. Like, some of the adverts were, you know, that's the thing, you know, with when certain like tobacco and so forth wasn't banned. Like, the adverts were funny. I'm not, you know, I don't condone smoking. I did used to smoke, but I quit when I was 30. Because I got to that point where it felt like someone was sitting on my chest every morning, and my missus was like, if you don't quit soon, then that's the end of it. So I was like, yeah, do you know what, it's probably for the best. And I quit years ago. Felt better for it. I mean, it's not the greatest. I always think to myself with smoking, like, you know, people can do it, right? It's up to them. Because I did it, so I can't say, oh no, I wouldn't do that anymore. Yeah. It's just a bit annoying that I did it for quite a long time. Because I think to myself now, if someone said to me, go and get your head, stick it in a bonfire and hail the smoke, I'd go, not really, I don't really fancy that. But it didn't stop me. I've smoked for years. And yeah, I smoked for a long time, but yeah, I got to the point where I was like every morning, and I woke up and it was just like someone was sitting on my chest. It was hideous. I was like, that'll do. It's because I spent time living in Spain, right, where cigarettes were still cheap. So yeah, I just, you know, they're really cheap, and I worked in a bar as well, so I just had like plenty of scope to just keep sort of, you know, lighting up. So yeah, but I'm glad I've knocked it on the head anyway. It's probably for the best. But you know, people can do what they want to do. But if you haven't started yet, don't start, because it's very expensive and it's probably not worth it. I mean, most people vape now, don't they? They do that, but you know, all you have to do is watch like live TikTok feeds, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just people sitting there inhaling water vapour. But I read somewhere, now I don't know if this is true, so disclaimer, you know, I'm not medical, I have no idea, but someone said to me that actually sometimes the actual nicotine hit from vapes can actually be worse, because there's nothing stopping you, whereas, you know, when like, I suppose you have like one cigarette or something, you probably go out and, you know, you have one, then you don't have another one for like a good few hours or whatever. But I think when you like vape or whatever, obviously it's constantly there, isn't it? Because it's water vapor. So you know, you take, I would imagine people take longer kind of pulls on it, as it were. So I'd imagine the nicotine going into the system is probably quite aggressive. I don't know though. I don't know. You know, I'm not medical. I have no idea. Just my own thoughts. I don't get it. They've closed the road off, or they've put temporary lights, but they're actually digging up behind the path, so they're not actually touching the road. So I don't know why they closed the road, because it's causing absolute chaos. Don't understand. And I can't see any workmen. So where are the dudes working and trying to fix this problem? And that's what I never understand. I get you need to do road works and pipe work and stuff, but it's really frustrating when there's no one there. What are you doing? Where are you? If you dug the bloody road up, crack on and leave it there. But I bet it's because they have different crews, don't they? They probably have a crew that digs the road up, they go on to their next job, and then they're waiting for the other dudes to finish their last job before they can go to that site. It's madness. They should have an all-in-one unit that digs and fits. Maybe they do, but anyway, it winds me up because I never see where they are. I'm just like, what the hell? It causes me grief, you know? Bit of griefage. Well, that wasn't too bad. That was pretty painless. Denka. Well, that wasn't too bad, I've got to say. As it goes, ne bad. Right, have a great week. See you later. Bye bye.